Hello and welcome back to another video in this tutorial series on using Photoshop CC. My name is Justin, and in this video I want to show you some creative ways to approach using text within Photoshop. Alright, so I have this piece right here that I made, and this piece took quite a while, okay? So I'm going to reproduce it as fast as I can. It probably won't look quite like this, because I want to, this one took a while, but I want to reproduce all the techniques that I used within this short tutorial video. Okay, so, I just got some crumbling stone text here, and I'll show you how I made this. Alright, so let's get started. I'm going to come over here to a new canvas. Okay, so here we go. We have the stone layer right here, and I'm going to go ahead and just duplicate this once. Alright, just by dragging it down, the layer down to the Create New Layer icon. Okay, so I have this layer here. So let's go ahead and create a vignette first. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new layer here by clicking the New Layer icon. You can also come up here to Layer, New Layer. Alright. And let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and select my paint bucket tool. Make sure that black is selected as the foreground layer here. And I'm going to just click and create a black solid color. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and select my rectangle marquee tool. I'm going to go ahead and set this to 200 pixel feather. And I'm going to just click and drag like so. I'm going to use my arrow keys to move my selection around. And then when I get it where I want it, I'm going to just hit delete. Okay, just like that. Let's see here. That looks okay. I'm going to go ahead and kind of make, instead of round, I'm going to give it more of an organic, wavy pattern here. So I'm going to come up here to Filter, Blur. Oh, sorry, Filter, Distort, Wave. There we go. And you can see over here what it's doing to the vignette, okay? And that'll be just fine. Go ahead and play around with these and get them where you want them. This will be just fine for me. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. All right, I like the way that looks, but it's a little too extreme. So I'm going to come over here to Blur, Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur, and just put a little bit of a blur on that, okay? That'll do it. I'll go ahead and turn the opacity down a little bit on it, just to have this nice little frame, okay? I'm going to create another layer and create some light. And this is a technique I learned from Tuts Plus. Okay, so go ahead and Google tutsplus.com. Just Google Tuts Plus, okay, and go to their site, and you'll learn so many great things. They're a fantastic learning resource for graphic design. Okay, so anyway, and what I'm going to do now is select my gradient tool. I'm going to make sure that white is selected on the right side and that black is selected on the left side. Okay, and I'm going to make sure that reflected gradient is selected. I have all these options here. I'm going to choose reflected. I'm just going to drag right around here somewhere and just click and drag like so, just to create this light right here. All right, yeah, that's it. I'm going to go ahead and select my blending modes here and change that to overlay like so. Okay, and that to me is that's great. I'm going to go ahead and select curves. I can come up here to Image, Adjustments, Curves, or I can hit Command M. And I can just adjust this a little bit to where I want it. Okay, and that'll work just fine for what I'm doing. I'm going to go ahead and darken the stone up a bit, again by selecting curves and just pulling that down a touch, like so. That'll work. That's just, yeah, that's fine. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and lighten up my vignette a touch. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and lighten up this layer, light layer a bit. I want some, rock texture here and here just to show through. And for now, this will be okay. I bet we darken this up quite a bit. Let's darken it up right now. So curves, darken it up. That'll work. Okay, so that's going to be fine. Let's go ahead and add our text. So I'm going to come over here to the text tool. And I'm going to just select anywhere in here. And then I'm going to type in my letters. Like so. All right. And you know what? Why don't I make them white so you can really see them? So I'm going to select text tool again, come up here and just change the color to white. Okay, now it doesn't matter what color the text is. I'm going to select my move tool again because we're going to create a clipping mask. Okay, now I do have another video, the previous video that goes into clipping mask a little more, but I'll give you a refresher right now. So I'm going to take my stone layer here, duplicate it. Okay, lots of ways to duplicate. You can drag to create new layer. You can right click and hit duplicate. Okay, you can also come up here to layer, duplicate layer. All right, I'm going to grab my stone layer and pull it up here above the text. Okay, I'm going to grab my text layer and put it at the top below the stone layer, like so. Okay, now you can right click on the top stone layer here and select create clipping mask. You can also hold down Option or Alt if you're using Windows And as you hover between the layers, you can see how your cursor changes like that to the little arrow, and just click. So I've created a clipping mask, okay? And I'll shut the layers off below to give you a refresher on clipping masks. Basically, the only parts of the layer on top that are visible are the parts that are interacting with the pixels below it in the clipping mask, okay? And you can see this little arrow right here that's in your layer showing you that this is now a clipping mask, okay? I'm going to turn these layers back on. Okay, so now we have a clipping mask. And this is a really nice thing to do with text because, well, check it out. I can actually come down here to my blending options and, well, let's go ahead and just put a bevel on right now. Okay, there. So there's a bevel. Okay, and so as you can see, it's pretty cool. You can actually still apply the different layer styles to the text, even though it's a part of this clipping mask. All right. So I want this to look like it's stone, and this, to me doesn't look right. So I'm going to go ahead and select bevel, make sure that that's selected, and we'll change this to chisel hard. I'm going to bring the size down to 3 or 4 pixels. 6 pixels. Okay, and we'll turn the depth up a bit, just to really make it look like it's been chiseled out. And actually, I think I'm going to change that back to 4 pixels. Yeah, okay, so that pops a little bit. We're going to go ahead and throw a drop shadow on too, okay, like so. And the drop shadow, I'm going to turn the opacity all the way up. Okay, like so, okay. I'm going to hit OK. I can toggle the effects on and off, and you can see how it's really making that text pop already. Okay, now let's see here. Even that, I think, looks pretty cool, but we're going to go ahead and put a much nicer shadow on this. Okay, so how to do that?